Muscle tissue is widely distributed throughout the body. The primary function of muscle tissue is to produce movement of the skeleton or other tissues of the body. This results in body or organ movement, maintenance of posture, communication such as facial expressions and vocalization, control of body openings, and heat production. Muscle tissue is composed of cells called muscle fibers. Each fiber contains contractile proteins that contribute to the properties of muscle tissue. These include excitability, conductivity, contractility, elasticity, and extensibility. There are 3 types of muscle tissue: skeletal, cardiac, and smooth. Skeletal muscle is under voluntary control and is usually attached to bones via tendons or other connective tissues. Skeletal muscle fibers, or cells, are long, thin, and cylindrical. Each fiber has multiple oval-shaped nuclei located just deep to the sarcolemma, the plasma membrane of the muscle cell. Skeletal muscle fibers are surrounded by a delicate layer of connective tissue called the endomysium. Multiple muscle fibers are bundled together to form fascicles, which are covered by a dense connective tissue layer called the perimysium. The perimysium contains the nerves and blood vessels that supply the muscle fibers. Numerous fascicles are then collected to form a muscle that is covered by an external sheath of dense connective tissue known as the epimysium. The cytoplasm of a skeletal muscle fiber is called sarcoplasm. The sarcoplasm of a muscle fiber contains long cylindrical structures called myofibrils. Each myofibril is composed of bundles of short myofilaments. There are 2 types of myofilaments: thin filaments, which are composed primarily of the proteins actin, tropomyosin, and troponin, and thick filaments, which are formed by the protein myosin. The 2 types of myofilaments are arranged in parallel, and when viewed along their long axis, they exhibit alternating dark and light bands known as striations. The dark bands, called A bands, represent the entire length of the thick filament. Conversely, the light bands, called I bands, represent thin filaments only. The Z discs, dark transverse bands at the center of the I bands, represent fibrous protein structures composed of connectin, to which the thin filaments are anchored. The sarcomere is the functional contractile unit of skeletal muscle. It is defined as the region within a myofibril between adjacent Z discs. There are numerous sarcomeres in each myofibril. Cardiac muscle is found only in the walls of the heart and is under involuntary control.